Yes, there's a corruption in Africa. Yes, leadership crisis in Africa is there. Yes, the people of Africa are suffering. Yes, the people of Africa deserve better. But that better is not you coming out to the continent and colonizing again. Let me tell you again, the betterment of Africa is not about you white men coming back to Africa and colonize Africa again. This is the journey to one Africa. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm back today and I'm here to do a little reaction on one of the videos that is going viral right now online. So I'm gonna do reaction on Eric Prince. I think a lot of you might know this guy, Eric Prince. He's a businessman, a former US Navy. And he's the founder of one of the company called Blackwater, the private military company. And he has this podcast he did the other day, actually just one day ago. And he's talking about recolonizing Africa once again. So we're just going to listen to this and then I will give my thoughts. And maybe you guys as well, you can comment in the comment section to give your personal opinion on what he says. All right. So let's jump right into it.
Easy for them to mix in lots of truly bad terrorist actors in that deluge of people running from bad governance. Look, all this talk of illegal migration in Europe, in the United States, it ultimately comes down to a contest of what is governance. Who is governed? Which countries are governed well? And if so many of these countries around the world are incapable of governing themselves, then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say we're going to govern those countries.
Whoa! Wait a little bit, Eric. Wait a little bit. So he says the issue of immigrants, it falls down to the issue of leadership. And if all of these countries where these immigrants coming from, they're not capable of governing themselves, them USA, Eric Prince, they should put on the imperialist hat. Basically, they should return back to the colonialism and go and govern this country. Why? Because this country are not capable of governing themselves. Therefore, they have to take charge. So let me ask you this one question, Eric. Is USA capable of governing yourself? Just one question. Because it seems like you're pointing fingers at others and you forget about yourself, that these countries are not capable of governing themselves, and therefore we should go invade and governing them. All right, let's keep watching.
You're incapable of governing yourselves because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that.
And this guy is helping out. He said, because when these guys are coming as an immigrant, our national security, is at stake. So we must go and prevent that from happening by recolonizing them, by governing them again. All right.
Pretty much all of Africa are incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens. Because
let's stop there. Say pretty much all of Africa, they're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting our citizens. And let me ask you this question, who is watching, how true this statement is. Because just the other day I came here to talk about Congo and I was talking about everything it falls down under leadership, and the crisis of leadership in Africa is the result of crisis of manhood in Africa. I said that, and you guys got to go and watch that video. And I am afraid, no, I am concerned, and I am very concerned that what he says, it's right about Africa. Let's keep listening.
Governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually making their country better.
All right. Oh man. This is what we talk about all the time. This is what we talk about all the time, about the crisis of leadership in Africa. And we start even to call politicians. He says, Africa is not capable of governing themselves, Africans. And it's sad because he generalized all Africans. And there's just few people that are making Africa look so bad. And sadly, these are people who are leading us sometimes in some of the countries, in most of the part in Africa. And And his suggestion is that they should come back and colonize Africa. Let's keep watching first.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh my God.
Enough.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Man, this man. Do you know how much damage colonialism did to Africa? You know, that's why you have so many countries that are not apologizing for colonialism, because they still justify what they did. What he's implying here, Eric, what he's trying to point out, he's pointing out issues that are in Africa, and it's true, these issues are in Africa, but what he forgets is that most of these issues are caused by the colonialism. Most of these issues, they started in Africa because of what they did to Africa or what they're doing today. Wait a little bit. I'm not disregard of what is happening. We cannot victimizing ourselves, because most of these issues that are happening is because of the poor leadership in Africa. Poor leadership in Africa is what causing Africa to be where it is today. Us not being able to decide and to choose to work for our people is what put Africa in the place where it is today. But also we cannot forget that this was very strategically, since the colonialism until today, Africa to remain at the place where it is today, to continue to keep begging, to continue to be helpless and hopeless. Where we are today is a result of what has been done for so long time to Africa and to Africans. They did it to Africa, and this is the result. So you cannot remove yourself out of the equation of what is happening in Africa. And also Africans, we cannot remove ourselves out of the equation. We all play the both sides. We are all the reason of what is happening in Africa. So you coming and suggesting that we must come back to colonialism and colonize these places because the issues that are happening in Africa, immigrants issues, and what is happening in the US, it caused by the bad leadership in these countries. Pointing fingers. But you know what is sad about this is that he's not suggesting they should go ahead and do this. No. They're doing this already. Economically, financially, they're already doing it in Africa. We have witnessed Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso trying to break out from that, trying to break out from the colonialist France. But what he is saying here, he's not imposing his own ideas. No, he's saying things that are already happening in the continent. And sadly, we Africans are sleeping. Sadly, politicians are sleeping. They don't even know that they are solid plan to colonize Africa once again. Let me ask you this. What thing are going to stop these guys from doing what they're suggesting to do in Africa today? What is it going to stop them? If it is money and funds, we always receive from them. We have so many contracts with their companies here in our country are working. So many of them are here in the continent. Why is it going to stop them if they decide today to colonize Africa? Ask yourself. And that's why I work so hard, and we work so hard to promote Africa's unity, because the only thing that can stop this is the unity of Africa. When African comes together and decide to change this continent and decide to change the leadership of Africa, decide to stand tall and want the change to happen in the continent right now and not 2063, this is not going to happen. Let's keep watching.
If you go to these countries and you see how they suffer under absolutely corrupt, made-up governments that are just criminal syndicates, the people of Africa, the people of Latin America, a lot of them deserve better. Now.
All right. Okay. Let me say this, guys. Everything that he says, to be honest, apart from his suggestion, is true. When you come to the continent and you see how the people suffer, it's true. Yes. You can see it everywhere. I see it every single day. When I move around the continent of Africa, I see it every single day. Corrupt governments, yes, it's true. But it's the same thing with other countries as well. It's the same thing with the USA as well, corruption. So if he's trying to suggest that coming back to colonize Africa is going to solve the issue of corruption, issue of undermining the people of Africa, I mean, it's not true, because that's what colonialism did to Africa. Colonialism, it was basically taking advantage of Africa. It doesn't mean that things are going to change. No, things are going to get worse, because that is what has always been. So basically what he's suggesting is what I was saying to you guys. This is Greek philosophy, that they believe that these men, you know, with blue eyes, you know, with blonde hair, and with all this like white skin color, they are ordained by God to control, to govern. That is their job, to govern the entire races of Africa, the entire races of the people. It's the Greek philosophy that if you have big nose, you have big mouth, you know, you have curly hair like me, you are born to be a slave. You are supposed to be a slave. You cannot govern yourself. You cannot lead yourself. Therefore, somebody else is supposed to be there to govern and to lead you. This is the Greek philosophy, and it's still working today. It's alive and well. Yes, there's a corruption in Africa. Yes, leadership crisis in Africa is there. Yes, the people of Africa are suffering. Yes, the people of Africa deserve better. But that better is not you coming out to the continent and colonizing again. Let me tell you again, the betterment of Africa is not about you white men coming back to Africa and colonize Africa again. It's not about that. Because you're not living in a better world. Because your world is corrupt as well. Your government is corrupt as well. We see what is happening in the States. Nothing good is happening in there. It's corrupt as well. So you can't suggest to come. Yes, we have issues. Yes, we have problems. But brother, you cannot cross the line. This is the line you cannot cross, and you must be held accountable with the words you're talking about. Can't be suggesting colonizing Africa again. In the country you're living right now, there's a lot of our brothers and sisters who are taking as a slave to come and to work for that country. They build that country, the nation you're living in there today. You're suggesting to colonizing Africa again? What about our people that are in your country right now in the United States? What about them? But I'm telling you guys, if you have people like this with their reputation sitting down and talk and speak things like this openly, you must know that with all the conviction you see, he says these things. You must know that he's not suggesting these things to happen in the future. No, these things are already happening. He is already doing it. And what does it do? So you can feel how you can see how much black people suffer outside of the continent, because if you have people who are thinking this way, when they see you, they already know you are somebody who are not capable of governing yourself, leading yourself, and you need a white savior to come and to govern and to lead you to make your life better. And those are mindsets that we need to change in our people. And all of these things, it begins with the Africa's unity. Africa's unity is the solution to these issues we're talking about today.
Countries that cannot fix themselves, particularly in Africa, the worst.
He said the country that cannot fix themselves, specifically Africa, the worst. So he's actually talking about the countries, and then he's generalized the entire continent is worse. In Africa, they cannot fix themselves. He already came up with that conclusion that we cannot fix ourselves. It's better to look for another option of governance.
Time to think about other governance options, because they are clearly not capable of self-governance.
Or bringing the professionalism they need to count.
All right. You see, he said they're clearly not capable of governing themselves. So we better look at the other option of government. That means for them coming in to lead it.
Relies on their own natural resources.
And the most of all, stop the aid programs, which really only benefit the elites in those countries, to the detriment of the little guys.
Or it's benefit.
All right. Okay. So, I mean, the interview as well, he's talking about bringing the expertise, and take care of the resources. That's what is happening right now. You can't say that is the plan that you want it to happen. That's what you've been trying to do before. I mean, during colonialism, even today, that's what you're doing. All the resources are not benefiting African people. But also, Eric is suggesting something. He said we should stop these aids coming to Africa. That's one thing that I can agree with him as well. Because he say it's only benefiting elites and the normal people are still struggling. What Eric is trying to say, I understand. And sadly, I agree with him. The problem and issues in Africa that is happening. But the way that he's suggesting to go around this, I do not agree even for a second. I cannot sit here being a hypocrite and be like, you know what, you cannot talk about Africa like that. Man, what he's saying is true about Africa. I've been talking about that all the time. All of my videos, I talk about the crisis of leadership. All of my videos, I talk about all these things. So I cannot sit here and pretend and to say that, no, brothers, you cannot talk about Africa like that. No, no, no. What he says is true. And what is strange is what I've been talking about all the time, is what a lot of other Africans are talking about all the time, that we deserve better. We don't deserve this kind of leadership. We don't deserve this kind of organizations. We don't deserve it. Our people keep dying. Our people that don't have food on the table. We don't have employment. Nothing is moving on in Africa. And only few people are benefiting from the aids that are coming in Africa. They don't support low quality of life people, but it's supporting them, at least the one using it for themselves. What he says, I agree with him 100%. But I do not agree with him that they should put back on the imperialist hat and coming back to colonize Africa. Because yes, Africa, we have issues, we have problems with the leadership, with the government and all those kind of things. But you cannot exclude yourself. You have issue with your government, with your politics, you have issue with that. You're not a good role model for the rest of the world. You can't sit there and pretend to be a good role model. The matter of fact, a lot of issues that are happening in Africa, a lot of issues that are happening in most of the countries, it is because of you. Look at what happened in Libya. You took down Muammar Gaddafi because you thought that he was not capable of governing his own people. So you should step in and try to lead that country. Obama himself, he proclaimed, he confessed that that was one of the worst mistakes he did, because things in Libya right now are worse than where they used to be when Gaddafi was there. You have tried to do that in so many countries, but you failed. You've tried to win there and to try, where is that? Where is this country? Look at all these countries in the Middle East. You guys, you cause so much wars in all those countries. In Africa, we see that happening day after day. And today you are suggesting that you deserve the better government. And what is the better government? Here we come, heroes again, America. That's the only thing I do not agree with you. That's the only thing Africa will not agree with you. But guys, let me talk to Africans, man. These things are not just being suggested to happen. These things have already happened to Africa. They're happening today. And let this be a wake-up call. Let this be a wake-up call to all Africans that we need to wake up as soon as possible and defend this continent. The only way for us to defend this continent, we need to come together as one people and demand the good governance and step out and actually make things happen. Because otherwise, man, PLO Lumumba, my African daddy, he said that Africa in the next 25 years, it will be recolonized again. And I'm seeing that happening. I'm seeing this happening. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot sit back and see this happening. And to be honest, when you watch this video, when you watch this interview, you might be mad, you might be sad. Yes, these kind of ideas. How can somebody suggest these kind of ideas? You do not understand how much you did to Africa. How can you suggest you must come and recolonize Africa again? Yes, I feel the same thing. But the issues he's addressing, they're there. And we as Africans, we need to step up, we need to stand up, and we need to work on this. We need to demand better. We need to do better. We need to start focusing on the next generation. We, the leaders of today, we need to start focusing on that. We need to start thinking about our kids, our future kids. What can we do to prevent our kids from recolonizing Africa again? We need to think about that. We need to put ourselves together, and we need to act as quick, as soon as possible, because we don't have time. Let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section about this, because issues I don't even understand what is happening. But let me know, man, what you think in the comment section. Those are just my few opinions. I'll come back with the live stream, but let me know what you think, guys. Appreciate it.